that's that with that. So now we're going to move on to the next section of our show, which is classic movie reviews. What's a classic movie to us? A classic movie is something that's at least 25 years old, is in high critical standing, and has a good following of fans. Ryan, what did we watch this time?
Let me get the year right. I'm sorry.
It's 80-something, right? 90-something? 80-something?
He's 86.
Aha.
1986, Jim Henson's Labyrinth.
I will let you go first.
This movie is famously known for being a cult classic. And the last movie that Jim Henson worked on, same guy who created Muppets, Sesame Street, anything puppet related, Jim Henson probably had a say in it. But this movie is no exception to that. There are puppets. This movie is fun as hell. It is a classic. It's a cult movie for sure. David Bowie camps this to the max. He turns his camping level up to 11, and it's just fantastic. Jennifer Connolly, I don't know if this is her first acting gig or early on in her career, but you can tell she doesn't quite feel comfortable on camera. And I can say like that is probably the only negative if I want to be nitpicky, but I'm not going to be nitpicky.
It's not my turn to speak yet.
But no, I mean, I'd say like that's probably the only negative side to it that I see personally is she just doesn't quite feel comfortable on camera. But it's fun as hell. David Bowie wrote all the songs and performed all the songs, and it's just fun. It breaks out into random song and dance for no reason. And the puppets are awesome. I love Ludo. Ludo, the big dog, the cute red Clifford dog that just walks around and just says like 2 words. But the adventure she goes on is very fun, and all the little characters that she meets in the Labyrinth are cute and fun, and it's a fun adventure movie. You can turn on at any time and, at the end of it say, I had a good time watching that.
That makes one of us.
I'm going to go ahead and give it 5 out of 5 because I genuinely love this movie.
Christ.
Yeah, no, I genuinely love this movie. A lot. But I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you and get your thoughts and opinions on the cult classic 1986 Jim Henson, Labyrinth.
I love when the internet hates me. I do not like this movie. I don't hate it, but I don't think it's great. I don't think it's good. I will explain why. And it's not the puppets. I love the puppets. I think the puppets and the art direction and the set design is the best thing about the movie. Jim Henson is very imaginable. I love Jim Henson and all the crazy work he's done. The movie just didn't work on a storytelling level for me. I thought Jennifer Connolly, whom I love as an actress, is terrible. I think that the script and its dialogue is completely out of whack. There are moments of brilliance in the movie with the script, but not with any of the setup. The setup was like 30 seconds. There's like a scene where she looks at a Labyrinth book, argues with her parents, and then just bam. Then like baby's gone. We're in this. And it was very rushed. It was very weird. Like she's clearly like 16, 17 in the movie, but she acts like she's 9. And I know that the movie's made for kids. I know this. But there are several movies that are made for kids that you can still watch and enjoy as adults. And to me, it just came across as really stupid and silly. A lot of the dialogue she was saying, a lot of just her overall mannerisms and actions. And I don't necessarily think it's all her fault. I just think that she was doing exactly what she was being told to do. Now, once you get into the actual Labyrinth, there's a lot of interesting things that go on there. I love the relationship between her and Hoggle. I think that was very interesting. A lot of lessons there, especially for it being a children's film of, it's a, you can be friends with someone even if they're ugly. Like, there's a lot there. Even the Labyrinth is kind of a metaphor for just being lost in your own reality. Like, and I understand on a deeper level, like, it trying to tell that story. Mm-hmm. David Bowie's awesome. The whole movie. Like, I can't say a negative thing about David Bowie. I can't.
You physically cannot.
It's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
And I do like some of the other characters as well. I like there are scenes in this movie that I like, but overall it just doesn't come as a cohesive, coherent story for me. Mm-hmm. And on that basic level, it failed.
Okay.
But there are a lot of elements in the movie and in the process of filmmaking that I did enjoy. So I'm going to give Labyrinth a C+.
Which is still above average, or slightly above average, because C's average.
It's passing. But
C's get degrees, baby.
They do. That is fact. I know firsthand. But yeah, no, overall, I do not like this movie. I know it's a classic, and if you love it, I'm not taking anything away from anyone who loves it and thinks it's great. I think that's wonderful. I love when people love things. Mm-hmm. And I completely understand why it's a cult classic, especially like if you saw this movie as a young kid. It just didn't really necessarily work for me. But
no, that's fair. That's the beauty of film. That's the subjectivity.
Oh, yeah. Of it. But I still love and respect Jim Henson forever. And Frank Oz contributed as well. He's great.
And, of course, this couldn't have happened without George Lucas and Lucasfilm.
Yep. The executive
greatest Star Wars film of all time.
Star Wars.
Because it's Lucasfilm.
What? I'm so confused.
Star Wars films are Lucasfilms, correct?
Yes.
Labyrinth is a Lucasfilm, correct?
Yeah.
It's the greatest Star Wars movie of all time.
Labyrinth is the greatest Star Wars movie of all time? Mm-hmm. This is the second time I've had to fire you on screen.
It's okay. You gave me the security clearance earlier. That was setup, or not setup. That was payoff from a joke earlier when we were watching TV.
Yes. It's Always Sunny fans, Max Ocular Pat Down, always gold. But yeah, overall, Labyrinth didn't quite work for me. Mm-hmm. But I do recognize some of the the imagination on that movie is ridiculous in a great way. So while I do recognize some positive things about the movie, overall, it just didn't work for me. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that's how I personally feel about Labyrinth. Was there anything else you wanted to add before we move on?
No, that was pretty much it. I mean, I don't want to say that it's like the greatest movie of all time, because I recognize that there are some elements that, don't really age well in the way of movie making, but still, it's fun, it's enjoyable, I still love it, but I'm glad we were able to watch it.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, also, yes, last thing. That movie was recommended to us by Skylar, so if you have any movies you want to recommend, please let us know, because while we know a lot of classic movies, it's fun to watch classic movies that we may not know about or that you want us to watch.
Yes, and just make sure they're from 1995 and before.
Yes, so any recommendations?
Nice.
Little last-minute plug.
Way to do that.
I try, man. I try.
I know.
Do you hire me?
Yes.
Thank you.
This interview's over. You can leave.